die Kritik der Kunstkritik thematisieren. Und das ist heute der Gegenstand Kunstgeschichtsschreibung und Kunstkritikschreibung.
I don't know why, but the artists do most of the performance. Maybe it's the clownic aspect of the artist. Artists are supposed to be some kind of entertainment as well. Giving performance is also giving some emotion or something. Need to speak about the notion of time and the notion of being in time. Like we looked a bit yesterday, we saw also, for example, the painting of Mannheim where the shooting takes place, and the painter even fakes the date. Mannheim fakes the date to make believe that he was on the spot, but then the painting execution of Maximilien was done after. So it's very interesting to see that the artist is expected to come and depict and portray what was happening once after. Now I'm very interested in the idea of being too late, because if I'm too late, then I become unuseful, then I become harmless, then I become like a stone, then I become nothing. If I cannot intervene in anything, what can I do? I can maybe find a job in Aica and make some painting for bedrooms. So being too late is a very frustration thing for an artist. And I will say today I wrote that the day, today is the 10th of November, and I will say it's too late because in Yemen people are already dying today. Many than more than yesterday. It's too late because we already sold them the weapons. Germany too, the French as well. It's too late, the ecological system is destroyed. We know we have people dying. The biodiversity is disappearing, we know that. It is too late. We also know that it's too late with the bees. The bees are disappearing. The river is toxic. The Rhine. This is too late. The forests are burning. It's dry everywhere. The forests are burning everywhere. We can see that in California now. The fascists are in power. Here, there. Last week in Brazil. Before in America. The Nazis are coming back. What do we do? It's late. Everyone is falling asleep. We have been gassed. There is a toxic gas that makes us sleep. It is too late because we don't have the anti-poison for it. So now I'm going to do a presentation. Basically, I am a father, I have 3 kids, and this idea of being too late is a bit a problem because what do I do with my pessimism? I become a bit pessimist. Before I was a bit, not activist. I don't like the word activist because if you're an activist, then you cannot work because you have a tattoo. This artist is an activist, then this artist cannot work because if he's an activist, then it's like, I'm a spy. It's written. But let's say, before I could think that it's possible to do something. If we run, if we get together or something. But with the age, maybe it's the situation, I feel that I'm a bit pessimist. And can I postpone my pessimism? What will I do with my pessimism? So I'm going to go through different strategies because I don't want just to cry in front of you. I would like to present some solutions, some ideas, and some of the solutions, they also connect to the writing of art criticism and art history. So I found we have 40, the last one will be about art history and the use of internet. I mean, first things to start with, we have to be self-critic. I mean, if we keep on thinking that everything we do is fine and we are so good and they are so bad, so the first step, I mean, for me as an artist, for you as a critic, it's also to see how bad we are, to be self-critic. So this I will give as a first statement. And this is what I said yesterday. see if the artist, the artist is a puppet. So, I mean, to be self-critic, for me as an artist, is I have to understand that basically I'm a tool for other people to use. So, whatever I do, somebody will come after or commission it. So I will be useful to something. Like I say, I can be useful to sell vodka, beers, weapons, keyboarders, gentrification, greenwashing. You make a list, you know. So this is the essential question if the artist has a role of a function. I wish that this would say that the artist has a role, but maybe it's not like that. That was an exhibition in Zelka. It was a journalist stopped using artists as vacuum cleaner. It was a kind of protest, but even so I wrote that advocate vacuum cleaner. Don't trust artists. That was an exhibition in Johannesburg. There is here, this exact zone, the center called Mannheim is getting gentrified. So when you move one street, it gets dangerous. So they gentrify some places. They put sushi bar, art, smoothie, fitness, you know, name it, cafe latte, and they gentrify the area like a sleeper, street by street. So they were 5 years ago they had 2 streets, now there's 3 streets, and they move, and they use artists physically to move the border. So they will invite a bunch of graffiti artists. It's very good because they also do for building. It's very good. Or other kind of artists. They build a museum or an institution or a gallery, private gallery, and then the artist role will be like you know, moving the border of gentrification. So people think these artists, they're very funny. They are humanist. They have good intention. But in fact, these artists are very dangerous because people trust them. They welcome them. But what's happened is the people leave after they get to move because they cannot pay the rent anymore, or even what is called the red hand, which is an army moving them away, like, you know, people with muscle are moving people away, so the gentrification can extend. So when I say don't trust artists, it's not that the artists do it on purpose, but I think they should question the systems that commission them or what they are doing, because there's a perfect seduction element to do the job. Now I'm going to show you a lot of things. They all connect. What is important is that the earth connects everything. My feeling today, I'm a bit tense with this. You, the weather, Germany, the money I have, I don't have, the Yemen. So everything has to go in one. So that's the condition number one, most important for the earth. So I will say that the painter, a painter is a term, a painter painting can only be in delay. It's very difficult for a painter to be in time because of the process. So painting done by a painter can basically, maybe you will have a counter-example, and I'm very interested to hear about them, can only be late, retard. Retard in French is to be delayed. The thing is that in America, if you use this word, it's also retarded. So it's, but in French, it's to be delayed. So the only thing I see, because a lot of artists question the painting, the canvas, like this is a typical, I mean, thousands of artists have done that before me, question the canvas, the pavement, the museum. What I will say is that the artists nowadays should question the structure. What is an art critic association? Who are you? You know? So for me, this question is maybe more important than this, the painting. So to question the structure in 2018, what is the most important thing? And this retard, you can keep on doing that, you know? You can spend your whole life making delay, and you will be even more delayed. And then you get into too late. We had some discussion, when I came first time not second time, in September, the museum was very, let's say, I didn't know that before, they do something called a takeover. So they told me I could use their account. They had a Facebook account and Instagram account, and they gave me the code, and I can log in, and I can post what I want, and it looks like it's a museum doing it. So it's a luxury. You're an artist, and then it looks like you're at the institution, and you can post it. So I did that for 3-4 days. It was pretty interesting. I also posted to put comments on other institutions. So other institutions would think it's Mannheim Kunsthalle, but it was me. So I could write about Centre Pompidou to ask them if they were delayed and stuff like that. And then also you can mark the time. So we had several discussions about this special shooting, and also these people upstairs that are the witness. So the witness, of course, it's us watching the killing. Don't think it works very well, this computer there. And then very often, because the things go on media, so if you have something to say, it's better. If it's filmed by somebody, then more people see it. So this is where I wear my blue hat. And then also, I explain this. I wear a blue hat, not to be funny or to be performing or entertaining. I wear a blue hat because, as an artist, you are the metaphor of the blue hat. Let's say you always come too late, you trust the color to express something, and you think that when you have this, you're good. We believe that when people have this blue hat, maybe not in Yugoslavia, but in some countries, there is people like here, we think that when these people are around, we should just trust them. So, and this blue hat is a bit like Inspector Colombo. It's a kind of pathetic, metaphoric figure that go around and say, excuse me, one more question, is it any weapon industry or chemical industry or whatever? You can question things, and then he looks harmless. This is another example with Mannheim. You can find many where the artist depict that the fire was here. So but more and more artists also express climate change. So we have installation where the room is filled up with water. We can see we can project the damage, or we portray. So maybe this is interesting. This can also to project the disaster can help us to avoid it. This is something that will be discussed. That's the village witness, you see. Knowing what I know makes me a monster. I have a technique sometimes. I go to a pavilion, for example in Venice, and then I will ask the pavilion if they can give me some space, because I have something to show very fast. So let's say that year I was working for the Maldives pavilion, which is a strange pavilion because some people say the Maldives in 20 years will go underwater. So as an artist working for the Maldives pavilion means this is an important subject because in 20 years there is no Maldives babies if you go underwater. Some people believe it's not true, some people believe it's true, but if there is a chance it's happened, we have to take it seriously. So as working for the Maldives pavilion, I will look for other pavilions to say 20 years we are not here, who is going to host, to welcome. So the interesting things, curator Christine I'm doing now the Casablanca Biennale, she found this deal with the Zimbabwe pavilion. So I could have a space at the last minute, one day before opening, in the Zimbabwe pavilion, to make an exhibition policy. So this is a method to use in response to the slowness of the institution. If I want to exhibit something about, let's say, Yemen today in a German museum, I'm not going to find a museum that wants to do a show about that today if I don't write 3 years in advance and if I'm not known enough or something. So the capacity to access an institution pretty fast isn't possible. So in response to that, I found different way to do so it's possible to tackle the now. That's one of them. Ask hospitality to others. So it's like if you get divorced, you go to sleep with a friend, so far. Knowing what I know makes me a monster. There is a bit of a new thing. This seminar is about also internet circulation. Makes me a monster because we know everything. Maybe a century ago or 50 years ago, we knew few things. We knew things, or they knew things, but now we just know everything. We know how many civilians have been killed in this country, at what time, with which bomb, who produced the bomb. We know everything. So by knowing everything, we become monsters. And this Oculus witness we are, they witness sometimes crime. And there is a law in France saying that if you see somebody doing a crime, you must assist. So the question, I don't want to say we are all criminals, but the question is by witnessing everything, by knowing everything and not acting, we might be complice of few things. So this is what I say, being a passive witness makes me a criminal. But again, this is self-critic. Can I postpone my pessimism? This is the next anthem. Yeah, this guy is trying hard. Yeah, this guy is trying hard to do something. He's a pathetic. The goal will be instead of doing en retard too late, you have a French word saying à retardement. So for example, if you want to create an explosion in 2 weeks here, you put a bomb and you program the bomb to explode in 2 weeks or 6 weeks or 1 week or 1 day. So it's called bombe à retardement. So what I think, so you can react fast on the now like a tennis player, doesn't make you unprepared, but you can also make an art that is made to explode later. Some artists do that. So this is to play with the names, the words. I mean, I'm French, so. So now, positive again. We rewind a bit. We forgot about this too late and stuff. That was too emotional. Now we'll try to be strategic. The awareness muscle has to be trained every day. The awareness muscle doesn't exist. It's a muscle that, let's say, I created. It's like the memory. The more you train your memory, the more you have memory. So if you read more phone books, then you can read more pages than with memory. But it's not a muscle, but the training is a bit the same principle than the memory. So what I try to do in what I do is to encourage or stimulate or give platform for as many people as possible to train their awareness muscle, because if they are aware, then they can spot propaganda, they can spot things. So by being aware, it's also fight against apathy. There is two ways to go. There is an awareness muscle, which needs some kind of long training. The best way to wake up people is the moment of clarity. It's connected, it's giving like a photo moment. People suddenly they see something and they change, or they understand something, or something happen, and then they change. They change what they do. Something happen. So this is very interesting because if you want to have as many people as possible being involved and wake up, a moment of clarity can be a fast way. So if it was a trick to wake up as many people as possible, that would be great. So this is what I was searching for it. I did it in Cuba, which was a bit strange. But then I should not think like that, but then, as an artist I'm interested in the idea of wantability, to be avoir du rendement. Efficiency. Let's say if I can wake up one person, it's good. If I can wake up two, it's better. And so on. So this took me to the idea of what I call format art, which is a kind of method or rule or to develop this awareness muscle training process. So format art is a bit like it's not. I mean, it's a concept, but instead of saying you go from A to B, you also involve living people with their emotion, their sensibility, their life, and they are all together in a process. So is a concept with people in it. And these people interact, which make the format out of control. You cannot say, draw a line from A to B, because if some people that start, then everything can collapse. And then the two formats I propose is the one downstairs called emergency room. There is many more, but this is the main. There is an emergency room which is done for professional artists, and then there is a critical one which is done for people that can run. The emergency room is a room to treat emergencies with art. So it's a space, so this needs to be negotiated with an institution. A museum has to accept that they do an emergency room, and they have to accept that what is going to happen is out of prediction, is unpredictable, which means it's very difficult in Europe. In Denmark, it's almost impossible. But there is some countries that accept some institution, because nobody, I don't know if it's on purpose, but institutions that will say, what are you going to do? And if you don't tell them what you are going to do a year before, it's going to be very difficult to get the contract to do it. So here I tell them, we don't know what we are going to do. Some professional artists that wants to express in the now about emergency will come every day at 12:30, and then the exhibition will change, and they will tackle the emergency. So for example, if we speak about climate change, today it's a bit warmer than yesterday. Things update. We can say we have seen war since the beginning of the time. War has been always existing, but the war happening today is a bit different. There is different method, different way of torturing people, different way to do propaganda. So things evolve. So what I ask to artists in this project is to be updated to the very now. They come to this room here, and then they can exhibit in a round room because there is no corner, there is no hierarchy in the space. And the day after, or the week after, he go in the next room called the Delay Museum. So what was once an emergency become too late and then has a status of being delayed. Oh, I still. Okay, that's the rules. The exhibition is a predictable clock, which is very important. And then the artists meet, everybody can meet at 12:30 because then it's a meeting place. So if we want to attack a bank, we better have the watch at the same time, because then you get taken by the police and then I come after them. So if we want to be a community, it's good to come in time. So it looks like that when it's in action. This is from PS1. And then an artist doing something will explain why. Why was it important today? And what was the most important issue today? So for example, she's called Nadia Plesner, she's an artist from Denmark. Instead of, I give artists some tools, but one of the tools I give sometimes is they can work with some detectives. So she was, let's say, appointed with 2 detectives, private detectives, and if she wants to investigate about something, she asks them to find out facts. So artists sometimes, don't have time to do all facts. More and more artists do it now, but so that way she found that in the time we were in Poland, they were holding a congress for pedophiles the same day. So the private detective found the data on that and stuff, and then she made an artwork on this. And the good thing is when we do this emergency room, the media come and they film the things, and then it goes in the news. So that way, it's to think that the art go out to the public. So I try to connect what artists do to the large public. So if you go on CNN or something, then you can reach millions very fast, the same day. Okay, now that's at the Delay Museum where the work. I'm looking for people that want to dig. The collection is done on 10 years in 12 countries. Only artwork done about emergency. They are from Germany, Vietnam, America, everywhere. So it would be interesting to study this because it has certain aesthetic because artists work very fast. So this is with the German police in Hanover. Instead of having a professional artist, I have policemen recording things with their phones. So it's not artists working with emergency, it's not the police. That's the police, fair police. So it's another way for me to extract again. I want to involve people in the awareness muscle. Here it's not professionals, it's the police. Again, and then she take all the data from the policeman with the computer, and he signs that we can use him, and he's on duty. This is a critical run it's another format. It's in with modern amusing people. We run a debate, and it's filmed at the same time. So what is said is important. It's filmed because what people think is also meaningful. So it's not a joke. We're not performing to look funny. People say important things, and we film it. Here it was the day after the Bataclan attack. We did that in New York. We debated about that and the propaganda going on and whatever. This is another format called the slow dance, where we dance and debate at the same time. So it's to tell you that it's not only about running and being on speed, it's also sometimes to slow down. So there is I try to find a balance with that's a slow dance. Also in Reykjavik, it's for the opening of Biennale in Reykjavik, the slow dance, they are all art critics. Actually, it's quite funny, the guy from Art Forum, Flash Art, and so the Biennale gave me the press and where they launched the Biennale, so I could take them to debate the thing in the water. This is a debate rail, so young people, they debate with Happen. It's a techno party, there's 20,000 people. And then everybody debate about what is an emergency. So I try to awareness muscle. They dance and they say, "Oh, what did you write?" And stuff. So they start to talk, and then we tape and the dish mixed on the dance floor also. So instead of saying fuck ecstasy, then you would say it's getting hot. The hot house system is happening. They dance and something else, which is also connected to now. I'm an artist, but I'm interested in art history. For example, in 2006, when it was making on Facebook, I took very fast a lot of page, their fan page. So if you like Marcel Duchamp, you want to show that, you click. Then I made this one. I made 20 other. I have Cézanne, I have also and then I administrate those pages. So I write. I'm not Marcel Duchamp, but I'm administrating. And now there is 150,000 people. So, something. So about the strategy of internet, I am interested with what I do. I'm interested to say the Fontaine of Duchamp was important and stuff. It's an important book, blah blah blah. But when I'm interested in Duchamp, the work that interests me the most in Duchamp is this one. In advance of the broken arm. So I try with my tools, internet and stuff like that, to influence that this is should be the most debated artwork. For the reason that in this artwork, Duchamp made a ready-made that prevent accident. So Duchamp, when you go in France, you must, as a citizen, you must clean the snow so people don't fall. So to call an object which prevent accident in advance of the broken arm make me think that I don't know if it's a murder, but I want to push the thinking on ranking what is more important, the urinoir or ready-made that can prevent accident, and think how can an artist prevent accident, what is an accident. So with that page, I try to, let's say, do what I can on people interested in art history, that this is the most important artwork. And we should debate how can artists avoid accident, and how we have to rank the subject. Maybe a subject is interesting to study, but for some reason we can prioritize another subject because it's more important. So the idea of ranking and the importance might be important for you, for me, for everybody. And now I start the talk. We miss the whole
together. Put your clothes and your bags on your chair and put the chair away so we have space enough.
Then now we are going to try the slow dance debate. So the slow dance debate